Man, oh man. What up, Cowboy fans and YouTubers? Is that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you live on the Saturday before game day, before we play the Washington football team. I'm gonna let some people come on in here now. I know it's random. I want to get in a couple minutes, talk to you guys live, see what's going on out there, see if we Cowboy fans still got faith in this team. Because I know we've lost a lot of fans recently. Uh, 6, 7 weeks in, and this team looks listless. They have no heart. We're hoping that Sean Lee and Cheeto will be back next week uh, against Philadelphia and can turn around this defense. Van Der Esch, he might get some more reps come Sunday. It's going to look like we're just going to keep rolling out what we got until either Jerry Jones makes a decision or we just blow this whole thing up. I'm not sure what's going on. We're just having a time. This year just seems like a wash, in my opinion. I don't know what to tell you. These guys act like they don't believe in their coaches. Now, as we know, if this was a Jimmy Johnson era, there was no way this team would be like this. He would have benched most of these guys and just said, you know what? If they want to cry about it, then you don't need to be here. We only want guys who want to be here that want to win here, not guys who want to get here, get paid, and then do whatever the heck they want. That's not how we work here in Dallas. But we've had some pretty powder puff coaches recently. We've had an organizational front office that has impeded getting quality draft picks, quality free agents, and all this is coming back to bite us in the butt. We're having issues on almost every level of this team, from quarterback to safety. So you can just look at us from sideline to sideline, front to back. This team is going to need an overhaul. The offense is probably the only thing that we can count on if we can get Andy Dalton to figure out that he's got less than 2 seconds to get rid of the ball. We can't have him sitting there holding the ball like he does when the offensive line is not going to give him that time. We can't use Zeke Elliott the way we want to because we're either coming from behind late or he's got to stay in for pass protection. And as you can see, when he gets the ball, even in space now, you got the defenders swiping at the ball and he's just putting it on the ground. Now, Mike Fisher has joked that it's because he's wearing the sleeves. I think he's just trying to do too much and he's not focusing on protecting the ball anymore. He's just trying to make a play. And another part is mainly defenders are knowing to just swipe at the ball. They're hammering the ball. If you see replays, when they're doing tackling, they are aiming to swipe and hammer the ball out of people's hands. That's something our defense isn't learning. That's been a fundamental issue for years, that they're not learning how to create fumbles, create turnovers. If it's not getting lucky and somebody's hitting the quarterback from behind and he can't see you and knocking the ball loose, these guys aren't even trying to get the ball loose from a receiver or running back or anything. But it's just some things they need to figure out fundamentally. As far as like the ball handling, that is a John Fossil thing. Apparently, I think he is the guy who teaches them that fundamental, and it shows by just having the lack of discipline on holding the ball, even in special teams. That's definitely a thing he does. Um, it's just ridiculous how bad this team has come out when we got Mike McCarthy and he got his coaches and we went through the draft. We thought this could be a playoff caliber, if not NFC championship type team. Uh, if it was 100% healthy, everybody there, I think we could at least make the playoffs pretty handedly. But you're also looking at the defense, even if they were 100%, that something just not clicking. People want to say it's a Mike Nolan thing. People said it's a player thing. I think it's a mesh of both because you can't bring in a guy who wants to run a hybrid defense and your defense is mainly consisting of 4-3 guys. They're not used to learning anything new. They're not trying to do any kind of hybrid stuff. They just want to go in and do the same old things over and over. And this is not what they do. Especially Demarcus Lawrence, he's been used to having the twists and stunts for years. He's not used to actually, learning something new where he doesn't have the so-called help that he's been crying about. Sorry about that. It's like 80 degrees out here. Um, it's just fundamental stuff that they could clean up. And this is the stuff that's been going on for years. So it makes you kind of wonder because it can't be the coaching staff anymore. It's just stuff that they're just not letting sink into their brains or something. I don't know. They just having lapses of judgment when it comes to dropping the ball on the ground, fumbling issues, special teams issues. It's some fundamental stuff that just repeatedly goes on with this team that they just can't seem to get away from. I don't know what that is. But you think after all these years, somebody would have, helped them clean this stuff up. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how you can look at film supposedly during the week, uh, during your meetings, and you still do the same stuff on Sunday. So either you're not looking at film or you just don't care what the film says. Because the film is telling you that you've done jack squat on some things, that you've done some mental errors that is something you can clean up, but you keep doing it week in to week out. Uh, Daryl Worley, how many weeks straight do you have to be there when you're one on one with a receiver and you just let that receiver run past you? In the DB's room, I'm sitting there like, well, what are you looking at? Why are you looking into the backfield? Stop worrying about what the quarterback's going to do and stick with your man. If you stick with your man, then you take away that deep threat, and he has to go somewhere else with it, and that gives more time for the defensive line or the linebackers to make a play. But by you letting this guy run right by you for towards the end zone, you're letting the easy play off. And that's what's killing us. I mean, I get it. Granted, the last game, Zeke's fumbles kind of messed everybody up. And the defense definitely looked like they quit after the second fumble. They just got sick of it and just weren't having it. And I mean, that's still no excuse. Yeah, sure, you got 2 seconds to go on the sideline, get a Gatorade water or something, and go right back out there. But this is your job. We don't care how tired you are. You are here to do your job. I mean, I don't have that luxury at my job. Hell, I've had plenty of time. I'm sitting down just about to eat my lunch, and somebody calls, and I gotta skip my lunches because I gotta go handle something. Sometimes I don't get a break. It happens. That could be 8 hour shifts, 10 hour shifts, 12 hour shifts where you just don't get a break and you just got to keep going 100%. And I do it because I love my job, is what I do. But these guys, they just don't have the heart to do it. I don't know what it is. And, you're sick of hearing the press conferences where some guys sound like they're willing to change and they're willing to make up for their mistakes and do better. And the other guys just don't care. And this is the team we're following. This is a team we're hoping can get that sixth Lombardi trophy in our lifetimes. Unfortunately, some people don't have that luxury. I've seen on Facebook, unfortunately, a guy had to bury his brother in his Cowboys Dak Prescott 4 jersey, and his brother's never going to see another Super Bowl for the Cowboys. ever. And that's kind of the thought process right now of what's going on with us. We may never see another freaking ring as long as this team continues the ineptitude year in and year out, starting from the top. It starts from the top. But now that was a nice long 10-minute rant of that, let's go through our team again, shall we? Let's have a reset because it's on a weekly basis. This is almost like a fresh new team. Uh, Due to somebody getting injured or somebody coming back, it's almost like every week we're brand new, and we're going to have to start all over again. Basically, our defensive line has been hammered. Our offensive line has been hammered. We have who's coming in new? Justin Hamilton and Neville Gallimore. Those two guys, they're getting more reps now with Dontari Poe being ineffective. Uh, Tristan Hill gone to IR. And I forgot all about Antoine Woods. You don't even hear about him. You kind of forget that dude's even there. And let's see. And then you got Alden Smith, who was like your only producer on that edge. And he's been kind of hurt and been kind of slowed up. Demarcus Lawrence has done basically nothing stat wise, but even on film, people are saying he's getting double teamed. He's trying to get his quarterback pressures. He's cutting off running lanes and whatnot. That's going great, but it's meaning nothing in the long term. It doesn't mean a thing. Uh, the linebackers look atrocious. Joe Thomas did great in the beginning, but now he's tapering off. Jalen Smith, he's like night and day. He'll play a great game and then he'll disappear for 3 games and then show up again. You're getting Van Der Esch back, but we're hoping he's not injury prone like Sean Lee. And those two together is a little better, but you can't depend on the man next to you nowadays to help you, especially right now with injuries all the time. So you're kind of hoping that Jalen turns it around on his own and helps this defense because he's the quarterback of the defense right now. And we're looking to him for leadership, and it's just not happening. If Sean Lee comes back, he can be a leader on the field and off. But he, as well as Van Der Esch, don't look like they're going to be in base defenses just because of the injuries, and they're trying to keep them fresh and injury-free. You got Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs has been thrown into the fire. This guy has done his best. Yeah, sure, he's got burned a couple times, but that's a rookie. And he's been learning from his mistakes. Hey, what's up, Cowboy X Factor? What a season our team has had. Yes, we've had. I'm just doing a rundown of the team right now. I've gotten to the corners and talking about Cheeto. If he can come back and play up to where he was, that's great. Jordan Lewis, sometimes he looks lost. Anthony Brown, he's pretty much been consistent. You haven't really heard much about him. He's been holding his position down. Daryl Worley, though, I don't know what they saw in this guy. I, you might as well kept Brandon Carr if you're going to keep Daryl Worley, because Worley has done absolutely nothing on that defense. And moving back to safeties, those safeties might as well not even be there, because if they're not blowing plays, they're late to plays or they're overrunning plays. It's just not looking good for the defense as a whole. Uh, you can improve. And that's the problem we're having, is that they can improve. We just don't know why they don't. It's ridiculous that even without talent, some of these guys are hurting themselves just by plainly not communicating. Yeah. It's going to be the defensive line of Washington against our offensive line and vice versa. Uh, all of the NFC East has a bad offensive line nowadays with a couple studs on defensive line. Our defensive line on paper is supposed to be good, but they've shown that there's nothing there. It's no horses in the race on our defensive line. Sometimes they get home or pressures, but a lot of times they're just getting blown out of the plays, and you just kind of sick and tired of seeing it happen over and over, week in and week out. They're overrunning plays, or just not getting home. And you've seen it, I've seen it. They've been like a split second away from getting a sack a lot of times, and they're just not getting home a lot of that time. Uh, for our offensive line, I guess Cam Irving is going to be playing at left tackle. I don't know who's backing him up because you're already using your backups to backups to backups for the offensive line now. Yes, I actually started out saying that that's exactly what Andy Dalton needs. Uh, that's on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore should make a game plan to get the ball out of his hand quicker. If Kellen can't do it, then it's on Andy to read the defenses, which people said he can do, but he didn't show it against Arizona, and get that ball out to his hot routes. I get it that your hot routes generally aren't in position by the time you have to get rid of that ball. If that's the case, just get rid of it. He's holding on to the ball too long and taking these sacks that we can't afford. He just doesn't have the time to get that ball out. And I don't know if it's a rust thing where he's just getting his legs back under him. But it concerns me because he played cold against New York and came in and balled out. But you had a whole week of practice to go up against Arizona plus a day, and you came out flop. I don't know what that is. I don't understand how more prep made you worse than it was when you came in cold. If that's the case, just come in cold every week and just ball out. Don't even worry about game planning. Don't worry about film sessions. Don't worry about practice. Just tell these guys, hey, run a streak route straight up the field. I'm gonna get the ball to you no matter what. Can Andy Dalton get to them and expose that secondary? If he's got a shot, I think he can. It's just gonna have to be. He's gonna have to hold up for 2 seconds and get rid of that ball. If Gallup, CD, or Amari can get into that open field, especially one on one, and he can hit them, oh man, it's over. It's going to take a couple shots downfield, maybe 3 shots downfield to deflate that defense. They're going to be pressing a little more. They're going to get spooked. Uh, and it's going to take pressure off of Zeke if he's going to have to run. But they got to get that ball out, and they got to go downfield quick. They got to do it often. They can't just sit back and, I mean, you can nickel and dime your way down the field, but they got to take a shot downfield a little more often. Arizona was not scared of us taking a shot downfield. That's why they never worried about our receivers getting downfield. That's why they got the blitz every other play, because they knew we just didn't have the shot to get downfield. Yeah, the defense, I don't know what it was, because they're getting murdered every week and everybody's talking about them. They came out for the first quarter and held their own, but as soon as you turn the ball over on offense, they just kind of quit. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why you would, as a defense, would just quit when you got to go right back on the field. That's ridiculous. Just do your job. So what? The offense turned the ball over. Still your job to keep them to 3 or less points. I mean, that's just natural, but they just kind of quit on it. And then you want to come out and start criticizing your coaches after that. You can't criticize your coaches. The coaches aren't the guys out on the field. They're not the ones making the plays. You are. That's your job. The coach can only tell you where to be position wise, and you have to be there. If you're not there, you're freelancing or you're out of position. And that's killing the defense. Only so much the defense can do, but yeah. Actually, I didn't hear what Mike Nolan said, but I think somebody mentioned that he's simplifying the defense, and I've heard that so many times from multiple different defense coordinators for the Cowboys that the scheme is too complex and they got to simplify it and they got to dumb it down. If you got to dumb these plays down, you shouldn't be here doing this. You shouldn't be playing. Mike McCarthy said it himself. These guys are running these kind of complex defenses in high school. High school, they're running these defenses. If you're a professional and you can't run these defenses, something's wrong with you. If these kids are coming out of high school and can run every sort of defense that's out there, hybrids, 5-2s, 4-3, 3-4, uh, 4-4-2, they're running dime, nickel. They're running all these defenses in high school. You may not get as much in college, but you should at least have a knowledge of it. So to tell me a professional can't figure out how to do these defenses, that tells me there's a player problem, not a coaching problem. For one, I don't mind change, especially if I know that what has been going on hasn't worked. I'm ready for change. Shoot, put me on the defense. I'm ready for something new. I'd love to learn something new. But these guys are so used to twist stunting on the front four, and the rest of the defense just hang on, just do what y'all do until you hope to create a turnover. I'm sick of it. You know, these guys aren't proving anything to me. They're a bunch of overpriced, overpaid guys. Yeah, and that leads me back to what I said at the beginning of this stream is that it starts from the top. Jerry and Steven have been, kind of penny pinching. They're trying to extend guys that haven't shown that they've lived up to their contracts. Uh, I think Tyron Smith's contract was the only one that has been worth it over these years, and it's not coming back to bite us. But I think Tyron's going to have to start looking at a replacement. Gerald McCoy, I'm not sure Gerald McCoy could do anything. We hyped him up, and just like we hyped up Dontari Poe, and Dontari hasn't done anything. Gerald, he looks like he wanted to be there. He was hyping himself up. He was ready to go. And if you need Gerald McCoy next to Dontari Poe to make the defensive tackles do anything, that's not good. You should be able to have a guy that can wreck shop on their own. And that's something we've been lacking for years. Uh, they're just not looking for that kind of guy, I guess. Will McClay, I don't know if he's scouting those kind of guys or if Stephen Jones just isn't looking. But we need a game wrecker in the middle of that defense, and we're just not getting it. His value for the money we paid him at the time was a great investment. But yeah, it sucks watching our guys getting older. Uh, Once 2014 and 2016 came, and we knew these guys are going to start having to recycle out because they're getting older, it just sucks seeing it. We've seen it with Romo, we've seen it with Dez, who's great job getting a new contract with the Ravens. But guys are just getting put out. Yep. Uh, if he gets a ring, I don't know because Kansas City is standing in their way, and we got what, four Cowboys former defenders on Kansas City's roster. So those guys got rings. I mean, when you got Morris Claiborne getting a freaking ring and he wasn't even playing in the Super Bowl, you know that's bad. So, I mean, we've had talent. We've had talent. They just the talent has just not meshed to the point where it all clicks at the same time. That was my thing in the Romo era. Is that if we had a good defense, we never had an offense that worked with them. If we had a great offense, the defense always let them down, and we just can't get our offense and defense working at the same time. We've had 2016 was the offensive overhaul, really. Uh, 2017 was supposed to be our defensive overhaul, but to be honest, I don't think any of those guys are going to get a second contract. Xavier Woods, Cheeto, Jordan Lewis. I don't think any of those guys are going to get a second contract. To be honest, it might be another whole defensive draft come 2021. Shoot, we could insert a lot of people instead of Taco Charlton if we wanted to, because that's been bad. That T.J. Watt, Taco, and there was another player that we could have drafted if we didn't go for T.J. Watt in that draft. And it all comes down where they thinking. Who had that card? Who turned it into Jerry and said that was the best plan of action? Uh, I believe that was a front office thing because they did it for a position of need instead of getting the best player available. I get it. TJ is not, he's an outside linebacker who can blitz and who can pass rush. I'd have taken him. I wouldn't have to convert him or anything, but imagine if you had him at the time and where he'd be right now if they knew what they were doing. But that goes back to the front office, and at the time, coaching. I don't think those coaches would have known what to do with him. Yeah, uh, Cowboy fans are all over the place. I mean, we're angry, we're upset. We 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 hyped ourselves up living off of the past, and we demand excellence. We demand it, and as a fan base who demands excellence, you think that the owner of the team would demand excellence, and I don't know what it is. How you get a guy who's up here who's running the team to the fans who are down here who want excellence? How can we get to the same level to where we're all getting what we want? Because yeah, we made a rich man out of the Jones family. We made them rich, but us fans aren't seeing the product on the field doing anything. I don't know how you could be the most expensive franchise in the world, but you've got nothing to show for it. That's great for marketing and merchandising and all that, but to be honest, you suck on the field. Now imagine how much more you'll be worth if you won a Super Bowl. That's woo money. Yep. Yeah. I can't see any of this changing as long as the Jones is running this team. Any Jones of the family cannot do this. It's just not going to work because they all have another Jones in that ear and they're going to make bad decisions. We just need a whole new ownership group. It's never going to happen because there's so many Jones family members that it's never going to leave the Jones family. But you just think that eventually somebody would think we need a football minded person running this team. As an owner, I don't need to be on radio. I don't need to be on TV. I just need to sign the checks. I'll draft somebody if I have to, but that's what I have a GM for. I don't need to be GM. I'm not a football guy. I don't need to be doing all that. That's what I got guys for. I delegate. And it's been bad delegation from the Jones family for years. They just don't know what they're doing, flat out. Uh, and there's no way to change this team around unless the Joneses look in the mirror and say, we are the problem. They always want to go around thinking they know what's best for this team, but they don't. Y'all know what's best for your pocket. And that's not helpful to anybody playing the game. But I got about one more minute on here before I got to go eat and take the family out to the movies. Yep. I actually was thinking about that when the finals were happening. I said, are we the Lakers with all the talent and pedigree and the history? Or are we the Miami Heat? The guys who want to be the plucky upstarts, the guys who are hungry, the guys who want that championship and that history. And frankly, we are the Lakers without LeBron and AD. We are the Lakers without the leaders. We can have all that pedigree. We can have the former championships, but we got nobody here who wants to lead this team. And we lost our only leader in that. There's nobody else that's been stepping up. They say they do, but they're not. Uh, and we're not plucky upstarts like the Miami Heat. We don't have no hunger on this team. It's a shame, especially and you think the rookies would be asking for more playing time. Yeah, losing Dak definitely masked a lot of issues on the offensive side of the ball. Because there were too many times I looked at the highlights where Andy Dalton could have taken that ball off and ran for first downs or more, and he just didn't. He's just not that at all. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's an embarrassment. We are an embarrassment. Hopefully, this team will get something to turn them around, get them a shot in the butt. Maybe they need to go out in public and have them meet their fan base and have them get cussed out face to face, and maybe they'll turn something around. I don't know. But that's all I got for now. Got to get up, do stuff with the fam today, get ready for game day tomorrow. I was supposed to be going to a Washington football fan's house to watch the game and have him do a video with me or so, but I have not been able to get back in contact with him. So I don't know if that's going to come across tomorrow. We'll have to see. But I thank you all who did come into the chat tonight or this afternoon. And hopefully we come out with that W tomorrow. Go Cowboys, all right? Be a Dallas Cowboy fan? Out.